giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Hip, hip. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Hey, coming up today, we are going to recap the entire preseason. Well, really the preseason finale, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk about the top storylines coming out of the preseason finale. Only a few, not five. The five situation is something else. We'll talk about that a little bit later, Cowboys Nation. Plus, we all know about the Daron Bland injury, so we have to investigate, navigate around that, and explore the fallout of what will be Bomb Squad. What's good with you?
Bomb Squad!
Man, it was a very interesting weekend, a very wild finish to this Cowboys preseason. It started off, like I said, with the bad news with Daron Bland, and then an unbelievable game. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a preseason game like that for one particular player. So put a pin in that. We'll talk about it as we move through here. I got three storylines that I really want to get to today, and then I want to hear from you guys. 351-999-3787. Let me go ahead and tease this right now so that, you know, when I'm talking to you, we aren't kind of repeating ourselves here. Tomorrow, we will be doing a full roster prediction, 53-man roster prediction, me and I almost said Foots, me and Vach. So make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and check us out in the morning. We're going to go through the entire team. But today I do want to focus on these storylines and whatever else is on your mind, but don't ask me to give you my 53. That's not happening today, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, though. Tomorrow. So let's jump right into it, man, because there's a lot I want to talk about, or at least I want to focus on these things that we're going to talk about today. But first up and foremost, we got some bad news in the roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you!
Man, I'm chilling on the couch, getting ready to watch the game. Me and Enzo just kicking it. And I get the notification. I get the breaking news. Daron Bland out 6 to 8 weeks to repair a foot stress fracture. I'm not gonna lie to you. That pissed me off. That I did not like that. And I know a lot of people try to dance around the significance of the injury like right away. Like, look, man, it's okay to come out and be like, man, this sucks. This is awful. You know what I mean? It sucks. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that replacing an all-pro with a rookie or somebody off the street is just gonna solve the Cowboys' problems. No. However, once that frustration wears off and you kind of settle back down into reality, here's the reality. If Daron Bland comes back on the shorter side of this, he could be back for the Steelers game October 6th. If he comes back on the longer end of this, 8 weeks, it could linger into the bye. And if it's me, I think I'm going to err on the side of caution. I would probably just keep him out through the bye week. The Cowboys have a bye week, week 7, which means he would return against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if your season seems to be on the brink and you feel the need to have him out there, then sure. But I feel like the Cowboys will be still in competition around their bye week. Plus, there's going to be about 10 or so games left after the bye week. And you're going to need your best players to be healthy and ready to go. So, absolutely terrible news for Daron Bland to miss likely a month or so of the season. Then you turn the page to, okay, what do we do now? And immediately, everyone's looking at the free agents. We talked about this a while ago. Before Daron Bland even got hurt, Cowboys Nation. We talked about the possibilities of something like this happening, right? And we listed the veteran cornerbacks on the market. And there was a Keller Witherspoon, Xavier Howard. Gilly was still available at the time. Dory Jackson. We listed all those guys. This was a long time ago. And you guys understand where I've been on this topic for a while. I would have liked to have some type of veteran insurance in case something happens. Now, what ended up happening is Kalen Carson ended up having a great preseason, right? Great training camp. He looks like he's ready to go out there, and that's fine. That's cool. But I do think circumstances have changed. If this injury happens during the season, one thing. This injury is happening prior to the season. So now you're starting off the season with your depth taking a hit. So let's take a look at the cornerback room right now without Daron Bland. This is what I think your starting cornerbacks are going to be. Trayvon Diggs, Kalen Carson, Jordan Lewis. That's pretty much a given. Carson didn't dress for this final game. Jerry, which I truly don't understand why they put a microphone in front of Jerry Jones after the final preseason. I don't get it. But Jerry came out and said, yeah, we're not doing anything else. We're not bringing anybody else in. We're not signing. And look, maybe they're just like, whatever, Jerry can talk, but we're actually behind the scenes looking to add somebody. So those are your top three guys. Behind them, I think Israel Mukuamu has to be a lock now. Granted, he probably was going to get in over an Eric Scott anyway. Maybe even a Keemon Hall, who did not dress yesterday in the preseason finale because he was dealing with an injury. So, again, my guess, your top four, Diggs, Carson, Lewis, Mukuamu, and then it gets tricky here. I personally would put Keemon Hall on the roster. I think he can be your slot backup. Definitely because you don't have Daron Bland now. Interestingly enough, Israel Mukuamu has played most of his snaps in the slot, but I promise you, I'm not going to fake the funk. I'm not comfortable with Izzy in the slot against true slot route type of wide receivers. Not comfortable with that. I much would rather him be on the boundary and deal with those type of receivers with the boundary to help him. I don't 6'4". He's too long to deal with those quick twitch two-way go types. That's just my opinion. So, but he played a bunch of slot this preseason. Andrew Booth, I'm not feeling this guy. I understand he's physical, he can tackle, but he can't cover. I said this to you guys many times. If my cornerback is not that great of a tackler, but he can cover really well, I live with that. But if my cornerback can tackle, but he can't cover for nothing, then no. That's just like everybody saying, oh, well, you know what? This is the best. This is the greatest pass blocking running back. Yeah, but can he run? That's what that's his main job, his main responsibility to run. His main responsibility is to cover. Andrew Booth cannot cover anything past 15 yards, 10, 15 yards. He gets worked. You could argue maybe the short stuff because he's aggressive, cool. But the problem is you just lost a guy in Daron Bland. So can you afford to go short at cornerback? Me personally, what I would do, what Sky would do, Diggs, Carson, Lewis, Mukuamu, Hall, and I'm signing a guy. Well, Sky, that's 6 corners. I feel like you have to go a little deeper there if you want to consider that deep. That would mean Eric Scott and Josh Butler are off the team, and that's what I would do, Cowboys Nation. I feel like they should allow Will McClay to work the lines and see if he can come up with either a cheap trade or B, a cheap veteran free agent out there. Does that mean I'm not confident in a Kalen Carson? No, not at all. I think I told you guys this from the rip. I think Kalen Carson fits this scheme like a glove, and he's went out there and he's shown that, right? But you do have to plan. You have to have a contingency plan. They didn't necessarily have one coming in because they liked their room, and I heard a lot of people. Some people said this is the deepest room. I don't agree with that. I don't think the cornerback room was ever the deepest room on the team. I feel like safety was deeper, in my opinion. You could argue the offensive line started to show some things there, but you really had Diggs, J. Lou, Bland, and you love what you saw from Carson. But after those three, it's rookies and guys that need to kind of prove themselves. And that's fine. You're not going to have 5-6 cornerbacks that you can roll out there and start. I totally get that. But now you're seeing that depth is going to be tested immediately, which is why personally I would go out and add a veteran into this room. I'm trying to win this year. I'm not trying to see if Eric Scott and a failed second round pick Andrew Booth can make it work. You want to keep Israel, that's fine. I think Israel has been super competitive this preseason. I think he's played his way on this roster. Like, he's earned it. You know, he's earned the right to go out there and take advantage of his opportunity or fail. He's earned that right. But that does not mean that I'm comfortable with this group for 8 weeks. Let's keep in mind, Trayvon Diggs is coming back from the ACL injury. I'm just saying, you know, and y'all know how I feel. I think Diggs will be fine in the long run. Will he be fine those first 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks? We'll see. We'll see. But it sucks to lose Daron Bland. I'm out there looking for somebody to bring in there. If they don't, then you just put your trust in Mike Zimmer and the scheme and the pass rush in front of him, and et cetera, and you could probably get by, right? You probably can get by. I'm not like completely out that this group can get the job done, but I want to plan in case, because this group for what, 3, 4, 5 years in a row has lost somebody consistently. Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs, Daron Bland. Do we want to continue to just act like this group doesn't get dinged up to the point that it's a serious injury? Not me. I can't ignore that. It's the position equivalent now of Tyron Smith. You can ignore that Tyron Smith is going to get hurt every year and you'll be asked out. It's the position group equivalent of LVE. You can ignore that LVE is going to get hurt every year and you'll be asked out. You can ignore that this group gets dinged up every single year and you're sitting here week 4 and you got to roll out Andrew Booth as a starter. Shit. Not I. But we wish Daron Bland a very speedy recovery, Cowboys Nation. Again, I would probably sit him through the bye week just so that he can come back those last 10 games and be ready to go. I just pray to the football gods that we can get Daron Bland and Trayvon Diggs on the boundary for a full year at some point. I pray for it. Now, the best case scenario is you want a Kalen Carson to have a Daron Bland rookie type of season, right? You want that. Now, Bland had the benefit of a full training camp in about how many weeks? 5-6 weeks or so of playing and practicing before he got thrown out there with the Jordan Lewis injury. And if I remember correctly, when we spoke with him, behind the scenes, he was getting work at the slot position where he didn't play a lot because he was doing a lot of boundary work. And then they put him in the slot in preparation in case something happened to Jordan Lewis because they didn't have a slot guy. If something were to happen to Jordan Lewis right now, I'd roll Keemon Hall, man. I'm telling you. I'd roll Keemon Hall out there. But that's just me. Cowboys Nation, where are you guys at with this cornerback room right now? Let me get your confidence level, 1 to 10. Your confidence level as is. If this has to be the room for the first 7 games of the season, or 6 games, I think it's 6 games if you look at the schedule. Confidence level. Sadiqa says Zim might try to bring in Pat Pete. I think I like Akello Witherspoon personally. Did he get signed anywhere? If Akello Witherspoon did not get signed anywhere, I like his fit here. I explained that a while back, where I talked about he was in a similar scheme where they did a lot of disguising pre and post snap. He played off a lot, up a lot. He was asked to do a lot of things, and he was actually pretty solid as a cover guy. Gave up some touchdowns, but that's going to happen. But I like Akello Witherspoon personally. 8, that's really high. Okay. 7, I was about to say, I feel like 6, 7 is where it felt like the Cowboys Nation was at. Oh, hallelujah. I wouldn't go in panic mode. Nah, I wouldn't say it's a panic mode situation. The panic mode is if somebody gets hurt. Then we're in panic. If one of your top guys go down, now we're in panic mode. But I don't think you're in panic mode right now. I do think your confidence level 100% takes a hit without your all-pro boundary guy. That's just real. You like the rookie league? I like him too, but I think I'm looking at this thing beyond the surface, if that makes sense. Shouts out to my guy. 7.5, 5. So it looks like we're anywhere between, if we had to round this thing, 5.5 and 7.5. Lots of 7s. If you had to round it up, you're probably now looking more like 6.5. Dev said 7 if we bring in a veteran. If we bring in a veteran, 100% that goes up for me. I just really worry if something happens. Jay Lewis is a veteran, He tends to get dinged up sometimes. Diggs is recovering from the ACL, so I hope they at least look at some of these free agents, look at potential trade. That's all I ask for. If they don't see anything that fits, then at least they did their homework, and let's roll and hope for the best. Let's roll, hope for the best. All right. Cowboys Nation. Let me ask you a question. As you guys were watching this preseason finale unfold for Trey Lance, because this is an honest observation for me. I don't think I remember a roller coaster of a ride of a preseason game for one individual. Seriously. Trey Lance might have had the most drunk stat line I have ever seen. Screw preseason. I mean, you could argue I think I've ever seen a stat line like this in the regular season. 33 for 49, 323 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, and 90 rush yards. Dog, that was madness. And the crazy thing about this stat line, right? Because a lot of people, they just go look at the box score and they'll come away with an opinion. But here's the wild thing. It actually matches up with what you saw. like, bro, it kind of matches with what you saw in the game. You go 33 for 49, 323. He was making some throws. He had some good throws. He had a seam ball to JSJ. He had the deep shot to Burnett. A nice turkey hole shot to Tyron Billy Johnson. Nice little fade to Flournoy. They made some throws. Go ahead with your bad self there, Trey. Look at the 90 rush yards. Well, how'd he get 90 rush yards? He took off for a 50 damn near yard touchdown. I mean, what? He was out there juking people. Yeah. Using his legs. Real quick. Come on back real quick. Let me stop playing for a quick second real quick. Stop playing. I'm now dead serious. I brought this up a few weeks ago, just just playing around. I'm serious here. Trey Lance probably should convert to some type of Taysom Hill role. Seriously, man. This is actually a compliment to this dude. His athleticism, his speed, the running ability. Like, if you just were imported from planet Mars, let's just say you got imported, boom, you get put in somebody's living room. Mid-play, you see Trey Lance just running. You be like, God dang, that running back is good. You come from Jupiter, you get put at the den in front of Lee's TV. You be like, man, that's a hell of a wide receiver. He can scoop. You come from Pluto, you get put in front of Sky's TV, and he dropped back and he's throwing to the other team, misreading. You be like, oh man, we'll see you in the UFL, Trey. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way you can sit here and tell me you're comfortable throwing that man out there to win you a must-win game. Just not happening. But if you go out there and you use him like a Taysom Hill, I don't think he can just convert to wide receiver right now, because that's a serious conversation in my opinion. But a Taysom Hill role, let that man use his legs, fake it, throw to a wide open dude. He got one. It's one read, bro. One read. If it ain't there, take the hell off. Yeah, he can 100% do that for you. But if you asking this man to go out there, survey the defense, make the right decision using your FBI football IQ, deliver the ball accurately, he's not ready for that. Those 5 interceptions were some of the worst interceptions I've seen in preseason. And mind you, this was against vanilla defenses. When Jesse Minter threw a little razzle-dazzle at Trey Lance, dropping back a defensive end, a robber. Trey was, I mean, y'all saw it. He's just not ready. He's just not ready. And I saw there was real life conversations about this QB2 thing. Man, there needs to be context. Y'all know my motto. Context matters. Here's the context. You need a backup quarterback to go in there, keep things afloat, run, keep your offense going to where you don't have to change up a lot of what you do from a perimeter base. Right? Obviously, that's Cooper Rush. There's no doubt about that. Doesn't mean Cooper Rush is some amazing quarterback, but he can go out there and operate your passing offense as is. Now, you may need to lean on the run game a little bit, lean on your defense. That's for damn sure. You can't ask Cooper Rush to win you the game. Just ask him not to lose it. That's what we've always said about Cooper Rush. But when he has to go out there and try to win it, well, we know what that looks like. But if your season's over and you're not asking for 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, whatever, you're like, hey, man, he got to go out there and play for 12 games, 10 games, 13 games. Well, sure. Throw Trey Lance out there, see what happens, and you roll with it. Because you heard what Jerry said, and you heard what I said before. Now, I don't like to agree with Jerry too often, but if he has to go out there and you have to win a game with Trey, you're changing your offense, man. Drastically change your offense. This is no longer doing the West Coast principles, and no. RPO, half-field reads, 1 read, take off, run the ball a whole lot, use his legs. Who cares if he gets hurt running the ball, right? You don't do it with Dak because you don't want one of the best passers in the National Football League to get hurt. Trey Lance gets hurt, he gets hurt, you throw Cooper Rush out there. If this is a full season thing. Me personally, I have no confidence in Mike McCarthy just completely changing his offense to tailor make it to Trey Lance. I don't. It might even be even more basic. And it might work for a series or 2, maybe even a game. But they're going to catch on to that. So, I will say this, though. He needed all those reps. People got upset that he's throwing a whole bunch. What the hell did you want Trey Lance to go out there and do? Throw the ball 15 times a game? You want to see, not even just see, you need him to go out there and throw the ball. And I said this a couple weeks ago. Hey, even if you throw an interception or two, whatever, just let me know that what I'm looking for is not the end result. I'm looking to see if you're dropping back, understanding what you're seeing, delivering with confidence, are your mechanics and things like that. Well, damn, hey Trey, I didn't expect you to throw 5 picks, 3 in a row. Could have been easily 7. I didn't expect that, but he needs to go out there and he needs to fail in that manner so he can learn. But here's the problem, and then I'll end it on this and I'll get a call or two. With people that, oh, just be patient and oh, it's okay. Patience. Patient what? What do you think? Who do you think we are? Cowboys is what I'm talking about. You think we're the Giants? You think we're the Washington football people? You think we're the Colts? You think we're the Panthers? Patience. Do you know how much patience you're going to have for a Trey Lance? And I said it before, I said it again. He has to go to a bad team and play for a couple of Zach Wilson type situation. He's going to have to play for 2-3 years or whatever and get it out of his system with a bad team that can be patient with him. There are real life people out here that want to roll this man out in a situation where you can hate what they did in the offseason all you want. The Cowboys are a competitive NFC team. 100%. This is a team that can go compete in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens when they get. I think they'll get there when they get there. This isn't a rebuilding team looking to try to get the top 2 pick, top 3 pick, or whatever. Now, if that's what you want to do after next year, if Dak is not brought back, sure, roll him out there for $15-20 million a year. I digress, Cowboys Nation. I digress. The problem is we've reached anything but, shouts out to Vosh, anyone but Dak Prescott for those people, for that particular group. This is what anything looks like. You don't want to roll anything out there. It looks like this. All right, y'all ready for a toxic take? I saw Toxic Tom was in the chat saying, oh, I got some things to say today. Good morning, Toxic Tom.
Good morning, Sky. Just want to say, hope you're doing well. One thing I always appreciate about you and your show is you want smoke. You're not about the bullshit. No. And this is what this call is all about today. If you in the chat or anyone else thought Trey Lance was anything better than even Cooper Rush, either you're inbred or you're a Jones disciple. There's no in between. Either way, you don't know ball. So they're probably all wearing their Zeke jerseys today, but Trey Lance is the definition of what is wrong with this franchise. Because as soon as he goes out there and he lays a dud, I mean a dud if Dak Prescott had thrown 5 interceptions in a charity football game, some of those fans would have been saying he's not anything. Lance was playing just like in the movie 300. He was up against the defense when King Leonidas goes, what's your profession? He was playing against potters. He was playing against blacksmiths. He was not playing against NFL caliber defenses. And what happened to him? He looked like shit. And it's a year 4 quarterback. This is not a rookie quarterback that was just taken. This is 4 years. There have been guys who have been drafted lower than him, higher than him, that got less time to produce in the NFL. He has not done it. So don't sell me that patient shit. But then for your owner to come out and then say he made the roster, you cannot be preaching accountability and toughness while gifting that kid a roster spot. There's no way. You are already showing that this is the country club Dallas Cowboys because you're keeping guys like him dead weight on the roster. You brought him on because you wanted to somehow get leverage over Dak Prescott. If anything, once again, you made it worse. Just pay the guy. And now, instead of doing what San Francisco did where they got rid of it, we're going to continue to do the sunk cost fallacy and hold on to a garbage football player because our owner is too prideful to admit he was, again, wrong and doesn't know what he's doing. Just watching that game, after hearing about the Daron Bland issue, and now we should have signed a veteran cornerback. It was just a front display of how this front office is playing checkers when the rest of the league is playing 3D chess. We are $1 late, we are always short, and we are always just trying to tread water to be relevant. And you said it best. Kalen Carson could be great. I don't want rookies to get me over the hump. I want to fucking win. It's been 30 years. Enough of the future. Now. It's time. It's now. And you're telling me that we might let Dak Prescott leave in free agency because we don't want to pay him? And so this is really the last chance we have before going into, again, quarterback purgatory, which a lot of these chat people probably too young to remember all those non-playable characters we had playing for us at quarterback, Chad Hutchinson, Ryan Leaf, Tony Banks. I don't want to go back to that. So you're telling me that this is the answer, Lord? I know I just went on a tirade, but my God, man, I want to win, Sky. I
know
hate losing more. I hate losing more than I enjoy it. Go ahead.
No question for everyone out there. If the last name wasn't Lance, if your owner didn't give up the 4th round pick, is this man on any roster?
Hell no. Hell no. The only reason why people care about him is because, again, sunk cost fallacy. He was taken number 3 overall. That's what people hold on to. I don't understand.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe I shouldn't say roster because he could easily be on somebody's practice squad, right? But is he anybody's starter, let alone backup? You know, like that. I know people were keying about the Raiders game, but one game later, look how that played out. You know, but this is a quote from Jerry Jones. This is why he's on his team. Jerry said, "The way we're structured gets a lot of criticism. Unquestionably, it does." This was way back when they asked him about the Trey Lance trade. He said, "But let's just do a trade like we did with Trey Lance because I didn't have to fool around. I can make that trade in 5 minutes. And the reason I can is I have all the information, had it from when they drafted him. I had the information right at my fingertips of what we thought of his play in the last couple of years. I knew what we thought of him. I didn't have to sit with anybody about the type of player he is, so I was able to make the call. I don't have to talk to anybody about that. If you don't see that as an issue, I can't help you. Even if this thing worked out wonderfully, that is a problem with the structure of this organization. And that's why I always say we have to overcome it. And you can say, oh, well, Sky, it's just a 4th round pick. It's just a quarterback 3. No harm, no foul. And well, Braylon Allen sure would look nice. Jalen Wright sure would look nice. Trey Benson, well, he was 2nd round pick, I think, or 3rd round. But it would have been nice to have somebody that could have helped you now as opposed to a quarterback 3. How the hell does a quarterback 3 help you right now? Doesn't.
I look at Trey Lance, and I don't even see a top 64 quarterback in the National Football League right now. And that to me, and you just got how many snaps and how much you had so much time all last year to fix your footwork, fix the nuances of being a quarterback. And then this year you're getting live actual time to play against teams. It's just not there. Credit Roch. Will Greer last year, his last game, put on a spectacular game. He got shipped out of town. Trey Lance puts on that shit show, and he gets what? A guaranteed roster spot?
Oh, if his last name was Greer, he wouldn't be on the team.
And this is where I hate to beat the dead horse on this, but you just can't overcome that level of incompetence where you would rather lose than give credit to someone else and actually win. And that is it is so infuriating that we already knew he was going to make a roster spot regardless of how he performed. And I just don't know how you can be – how do you feel if you're Julius Woods right now? You've been balling your ass off, and you might not make the roster because we need to carry a 3rd quarterback because the owner loves Trey Lance. It's that part of a team.
Let me answer this real quick because I keep seeing this. Dan the Man, shouts out to you. Maybe you're not speaking with me. Maybe you're talking to the fans that call him ass and everything like that. Like I'm beyond that. Maybe you find it disrespectful to say he's a quarterback 3. That's just the facts. But Dan said, I think y'all being harsh. He's only 23. He hasn't played a ton. He showed some flashes, but he needs consistency. Dan, that's all true. He definitely shown some flashes. He definitely needs consistency. But what you're leaving out there is he's got a lot of work to do. And the conversation I'm having is not about another team. It's about this team. The Cowboys don't have that time. The Cowboys can't roll Trey Lance out there and try to be a competitive NFL playoff team. That's not happening. So if you want to have patience and take time, what time? He's not under contract. He is a free agent next year. So now you go into free agency, and if he somehow has suitors, you competing for Trey Lance? Guys, stop it. Like, stop. And I'm not saying this is you, Dan, but for those who don't like the quarterback, there are other options. You don't have to dig so damn deep because you see a guy that can run around and use his legs real well and throws the ball really hard. There are other options out there. So yeah, he needs some time and all this stuff. But the Cowboys don't have time. And if you think Jerry Jones got time, you out your mind.
And the last point I'll make on this guy is on a positive note. I will say this. I think Deuce Vaughn, he's surprised me this year. The last 2 games he's played, he's looked a lot better. I just hope that they use him more consistently now. He's a guy that I haven't been just wanting to anoint on the roster spot. I think Deuce Vaughn, in my opinion, has done enough. So I owe him an apology because I wanted to say I've been dogging on his 5'5" ass for a long time. I think he's done enough, and I hope that they use him in this offense. Wanted to end on a positive note. Anything to get pregnant Zeke off this roster. Y'all have a good day.
My man, that's a perfect segue. Once we get through there, but let me stay on this real quick because I don't want to jump around. Special K said Rush ain't a reliable backup either. It's Dak or bust. Special K, I would love for you to call in here because I am no Rush fan, but I'm going to use your words against you. Reliable. I hate to be that guy, but he kind of been reliable as a backup. I'm not saying this dude is great or anything like that, but he's kind of been like, you can't deny his reliability for you when his number has been called to just not lose the game. Now, if you go out there and ask him to win the game, he's lost the game for you. Now, if you're trying to win the Super Bowl with any of these guys, no, it's a wrap. But again, context matters. If you need to win a game or 2 or 3 just to stay afloat, you roll Cooper Rush out there. If you need 10, 11, 12 games, season's over, you roll Trey Lance out there. But if you think he ain't reliable, the hell do you call this guy? What's worse? What's worse than not reliable? Find me that word. So that's my whole thing. And let's not make this a Lance versus Rush thing because they both are 2 separate players. Cooper Rush is easily the better total quarterback. Trey Lance is easily the better talent where he can run and throw hard and make some of those tight throws because he can gun it in there. Like they're 2 totally different quarterbacks that you're going to ask to do 2 totally different things. But let's also focus here. Let's focus. The conversation to me never was about Rush and Lance and that. There's real life fans that want to cement this man as your QB of the future. How, Sway? How? You know what? I'll take one more. Then we'll get to the running back situation. B. Bird, good morning, sir.
How you doing this morning, Scott?
I'm doing fantastic.
Hey, there's also a real live owner that wants Trey Lance to be a starter in Dallas too. So,
well, we know the issues with that guy.
Yeah. So after Trey Lance was acquired last year, me and you had a little heated debate about it, and it's still not clear, but it was my in my mind that Jerry got him just like Toxic said as leverage for Dak. I think he got in his emotions how negotiations were going. And they weren't going the way he was, and he was still kind of mad about the last time with the no trade contract and clause and all that kind of stuff. And so he said, well, I'm going to go get me some leverage. And people might say, well, no, that's not it. Well, why would he bypass everybody in the organization to go get this guy? That was an emotional decision.
That may be true, but that's laughable, though. That's why I laughed at it. Like, all right, Jerry, you're the only one in your head that believe Trey Lance is leverage, dog. Like, how you watch this guy and believe he's any type of leverage? The only leverage you can say about Trey Lance prior to him coming to Dallas was his age. His age and draft status. His play, there's nothing to leverage with his play. He was not good. He's not shown anything to leverage against Dak. In fact, you just let Dak's price go way up because of the play of Trey Lance. But I digress.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you this. That's why he got so many pass attempts this preseason.
He needed
because
that. Yeah.
Jerry wanted him to shine, man. He wanted him to, have 8 touchdowns, maybe 1 or 2 interceptions, and just show promise. So then next offseason he can move on. I think that they haven't signed Dak yet either. So I just think that was part of it. And I never had a problem with Trey acquisition. I just had with.
I'd push back a little bit on that. I think this was McCarthy's plan as well. Like, what you got in Cooper Rush. Trey Lance hasn't played enough. He needed to play this whole preseason just for the development of Trey Lance. Even if he doesn't have 8 touchdowns and 2 picks, even if he had the preseason he actually needed this. Because guess what? Even if he had 8 touchdowns and 2 picks, go look at Jerry's quote after the game. Go look at it. You would think he had 8 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if he had 0 touchdowns and 10 picks. Jerry was going to buff him up.
That's right. So he has his thumb on the scale for him. Let me ask you a question, Dan. Just from your what do you think Jerry's motivation was behind getting him? I mean, just what you think since we've been here for a year so far, and it's kind of been.
I can't get into that old man's head. If it was Jerry's decision, nobody else's decision. Yeah. So yeah, sure, maybe Jerry was trying to use it as leverage, but I look at it and laugh, and look at it as that's the issue with this team. You traded a 4th round pick for a quarterback 3 out of what? Because of your feelings? Get the hell out. If you truly thought that Trey Lance was going to be the quarterback of the future, then why didn't you not sign him to a contract extension? Why didn't you pick up the 5th-year option? Because they want Dak Prescott back here. They just want him. They want him back here on their terms, and Dak's not going to fall for that. He's not going to come back on their terms. They really do want Dak. They just don't want it on the same terms that they had before. And if they don't come to that decision in the next week and a half, well, he's hitting free agency, and we could be looking at a totally different situation moving forward.
So we juxtapose Will Greer's last game versus Trey's last game, Will Greer's last game last year, and we almost look at it as almost laughable. The game Will Greer had and the game that Trey had is polar opposites, and one guy gets cut automatically and the other guy gets kept automatically. It's kind of crazy, man. Mm-hmm. One of the things I would say, I'll give you an analogy right quick. If you got a brand new Mercedes-Benz, you insure that thing, man. I mean, all the way up to the tilt. Just in case something happens, you can replace it. But if you got a $2,000 car that you're going back and forth to work in, it's $2,000. I ain't going to put too much insurance on it. It's not worth it. When you have a 12-5 season, man, and you have the players we have in play, you insure that team. And what I mean by that is you had Gilmore. And I thought Gilmore played well all last year. And I think that he basically turned into an insurance last year for when Diggs went out. Now you had Bland and you had him good on the corners. So I think when you have a 12-5 team as a GM, you go in your mindset and say, okay, what can we do just in case something happened? Well, one thing already happened. You had Diggs coming off of ACL, and we know how our players been coming off ACL. There's nothing wrong with them. It just takes a little while, right? And so suppose you have Gilly and then you had Bland, this before Bland injury. You can say, hey, man, look, we ain't bringing Trey back till week 3, man. We're going to give him a little bit more time. But now that you don't have that now, you know what I'm saying? Or even if he's not ready, you got Gilmore to throw in. But I also thought, and I said this earlier, I said you bring him back as insurance against Diggs not being 100%, or if another cornerback gets hurt. Well, where are we now? We're at cornerback getting hurt. Yep. And so what you want to do if you're a GM, you want to insure your with veterans, right? You want to insure your roster. And I think the Cowboys did a bad job of insuring this roster because I looked at what Gilly signed for is pretty much what he had last year. And I think you could have got him back. He did nothing. I thought he played well all last year. He got hurt that last game. And then in the playoffs, he didn't play up, but he fought through it. Yeah,
Gilly was solid for you last year for sure.
He was solid, man, especially against Seattle, man, where we had to swap Bland out and all that kind of stuff and put him on DK. And so what I'm saying is, man, I think the Joneses have done, I always tell you they got time arrogance, man, and that's because they can't get fired. I know people might get tired of me saying that. That's what it is, because they can just take their time on defensive tackle. That's what they did. They say, hey, we'll go to camp and we'll just see. Other GMs don't have time, man. They got to go get it. And so, but the Joneses got time. That's why these contracts are still out there, because they got time, man. They're going to be here. So anyway, I just wanted to just call and just discuss that with you, man. I just thought they should have insured this team a little bit better. It's 12-5. We're ready to move to the next step. At that point in time, you'll get veterans just in case something happens and you can plug somebody in, man. I'm going to get off and I'm going to continue to listen, man.
All right. Appreciate you, B-Bird.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Well, we've established this is a reactionary organization as opposed to proactive, right? We've established that. And it goes back a long, long time. But 2022, you knew you needed a receiver, cornerback help. You did not do it during the season, in a season where you very well could have gotten to the NFC Championship game with a little bit more talent. Didn't happen. They go into the offseason. They get the receiver and cornerback help, and we're like, yay. But we forget they're just actually catching up, right? And you can argue the same thing here. Going into this season, you knew you needed defensive tackle, running back, if you ask me, help. And I personally think maybe one more corner, but they didn't do it. And here we go. Find out your defensive tackle situation is not that great. And to their credit, they go out and they add some veterans. You get injuries on the D-line, defensive end. Personally, I thought they should add another guy, but they went out and got Carl Lawson. Let's see, hope that works out. And here we are with the cornerback situation. Now Gilly did get paid something like $8 million guaranteed or what have you. But again, it all depends how you look at the situation. Is $8 million a lot? Maybe to some. Is $8 million a lot for a competing team? I would look at it as no. But it didn't have to be Gilly. It could have been somebody else. It could have been another guy who's been proven. I keep throwing out the name Ahkello Witherspoon. I would have been very happy with that decision. But it looks like they're going to roll out probably Diggs, Kalen, J-Lou, McQuamu as the 4, and we'll see what they do with. I truly hope it's not Andrew. I mean, I'm just not feeling this Andrew Booth guy, but Andrew Booth and Keemon Hall. We'll see. We'll see. Now, we were talking about the running back situation. Well, at least Toxic was, and he gave some credit to Deuce Vaughn. There's been a lot of conversation about this room and the number. I brought this up on Twitter because I kept seeing it in our chat a few times. I've been seeing it on Twitter, and I'm sitting here and I was like, hey, is this real? Do people really truly believe the Cowboys should carry 5 running backs? That just took me by storm. I'm sitting here thinking, what team carries 5 running backs on their roster that's not a running team? So I said to somebody on Twitter, if you are truly carrying 5 running backs, one or two things have happened, maybe even both. One, you don't have a running back or two you trust. You don't. If you got to carry 5 backs, you don't trust a couple of those backs. You don't trust not one or two. You really need 2 backs in this league. You probably don't have 2 backs you trust. Or you're about to be the most runningest team in the National Football League by a mile, right? Like if you're going to carry 5 backs, fam, you're about to be number 1 in rushing attempts, and it's not about to be close. You're about to take this thing back to 1992. But the reality is, on this particular team with this coach and this makeup of offense, that's not happening. So why would you carry 5 backs? Please don't come in here and talk about special teams. Don't come in here talking about no damn special teams, because I'm not buying none of that. If you cannot find a way to get this man involved on offense, then you just aren't good at your job. You just aren't. Deuce Vaughn has shown so much proof, and you could argue. If you say Deuce improved from his regular season, yes. Sure. But we talked about this when we showed the tape. Deuce Vaughn wasn't giving a bunch of blocking during the regular season. He was getting thrown in there in blowouts with backups when teams knew you had to run the ball to run the clock out. Well, Sky, it's just preseason. Again, screw the stats if you want to keep it a bean. If you're not impressed with the stats, fine. Go watch the how. Deuce Vaughn is finding the creases. He's making guys miss at the line of scrimmage. He's getting big runs. He's also getting first down runs. And when you look at the room, Zeke and Rico on this team, I know the question becomes, oh, well, cut Zeke Elliott. Let's live in reality. Ain't happening. Okay? So Zeke and Rico's on this team. Hunter Lipke's on this team. As much as I like Royce Freeman, I can't feasibly justify keeping Royce Freeman over Deuce Vaughn if you're truly trying to complete a running back by committee backfield. Well, Sky, special teams. Find a linebacker. Find a safety. Find a wide receiver. Deuce Vaughn should be a part of your rotation. Don't lie to me then. If you start off camp saying, well, this is going to be a running back by committee. A committee approach is technically 3 guys. And if you say, well, the 3 guys are going to be Zeke, Rico, and Hunter, then you keep Zeke, Rico, and Hunter, and you go on elsewhere then, damn it. Don't play around. If you're just gonna have 3 running backs and Hunter Lipke, and that 3rd running back is going to be inactive every single week, hey man, you just put a guy on a practice squad. Use that position, that slot for a guy who's going to play. I forget who I was talking to on Twitter. It was like, well, it was Aaron. Shouts out to my guy. He said, well, couldn't you justify Deuce being on this team because of special teams? I said, nah, you can justify Deuce being on this team because he's should have a role on offense. I haven't seen Deuce do anything special teams wide to be like, man, he got to be on a special team. I ain't seen him have no big return and touchdown and all that. But I've seen him give you something you don't currently have in the backfield. He's not going to bust out 80-yard touch. He doesn't have that type of long speed. But he's agile. He has that twitch. He may not be the Tony Pollard super big play, but he's going to be your guy that gets you probably the most 15-yard gains, 20-yard gains. He complements the backfield. And I say this again, I like Royce. I truly do. When they signed him, I didn't see the need to bring in another guy that was just like him, but they did, and he ain't going nowhere. But Deuce Vaughn, because you didn't grab that type of guy in the draft, is the juice that you have on your of the guys that you're working with, of this group. He's the juice. If Malik Davis makes this team over Deuce Vaughn, what are we doing? If the Cowboys carry 5 running backs, what the hell are we doing? Now, like I love to do this because this is just my opinions, but I'm sure there are people in the chat and maybe on the phone who believe the Cowboys should carry 5. I would love to hear the reasonings because that will get me to think a little bit more. But if Deuce is not on his team, then you have to be looking outside of the facility for a guy to provide that type of complement to your room. That has to be the case, man. All right, let's keep it moving here. Marco from Charlotte. Good morning, sir.
What's up, brother? How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good, man.
Man, bless. Hey, I was listening to your boy Toxic Tom, his take, and he sounded like Law Nation's jump shot when I was watching him on what's name. It was trash, like Law Nation's jump shot. But I was going to say, I didn't think. You saw it too, but you saw it. I'm just because you're a basketball player, you saw it, and I was like,
I didn't know where you're going with that. So you're saying Law Nation's jump shot is trash?
Yeah. Oh, if you didn't see it, I don't want to never see it again in my life. This is what I'm referring it to. Like sometimes you listen to sports you listen to somebody tell you about sports. They don't even play sports. They're not athletes. Period. They can't tell you about sports. They just watch football and give us a comment about it. But I saw the game, and then I went back and watched it in the condensed on the Sunday Ticket, and I felt like my boy didn't play bad. He was under pressure. Josh Ball couldn't block nobody. I mean, let's go. Whatever his name, it might have been Ball. Whoever is on the right tackle, he couldn't block nobody.
There's no way you watched that game and said that man.
I didn't say he was great though, Scott. I'm not saying he was great. Like, he's not here to take Dak Prescott. And I'm the hardest critic on Dak Prescott. Sure. He's not here to take Dak Prescott's spot.
Well,
I think he's better than Cooper Rush. I think he's better than Rush easily. I like Rush, but I saw
he might be, but I still don't know yet. I think
this is the reason.
Let me tell you why, Marco.
Go ahead, brother.
I don't have real evidence. All I got is preseason and camp. And I think he's more talented. And I really thought he was going to run away with the quarterback too. Y'all remember me? I said he was going to win quarterback too. I don't know that's been the case. So he may be more talented. But when it's time to strap up and go out there and win meaningful games, we ain't got the evidence yet. So Scott, we're just guessing.
Scott, I think Cooper Rush has put us in a false sense of reality. Like, it's really delusional because if I put Cooper Rush out there with Tyler Smith, my best player, CD Lamb, I think he can look decent. Billy, that number 14, John, whoever he is, my man let the dude take the ball from him, like Debo'd him. Like, give me the rock, bro. I thought that should have been a catch or knock it down.
No, he should have threw it away. Why are you throwing it to 14 and you're throwing it high? If you're going to throw it to him, you put it on his chest, but you got to throw that ball away. You threw it high and you allowed the defender to have a chance at the ball. If you put it, on his chest or away from the defender, then he doesn't have a shot for that. All 5 of his picks were terrible picks, man.
Yeah, that was terrible. Hey, but Scott, we got to see. We got a 23-year-old kid. We saw what Cooper Rush can give us. He can win some games, but I'm not going. I mean, he's not going to beat the Eagles when it matters. He's not going to beat them. That's why. I mean,
look, man, I'm not. Y'all not about to turn me into no damn Cooper Rush trooper. I'm not about to be a super Cooper trooper. We ain't doing that. But listen to what you just said, Marco. And I'm gonna quote you. He can win some games. Ain't that what it's about, Marco?
Okay, Scott. Can I respond to that? I don't even want to. I think Cooper Rush can win them same games with those same players out there.
You mean Trey? So you said he can't beat the Eagles. He got his ass whooped by the Eagles. But somehow, some way, he beat the Bengals. He beat the Rams. Like, they beat some decent teams. I say they. I ain't gonna say him. He ain't do it. Like, he ain't go out there and win it. He didn't lose it. Let me say that, Margo. He went out there and didn't lose against them dudes. Okay, y'all not about to turn me no super Cooper trooper.
Hey, Scott. I don't want to see neither one of them, tell you the truth.
I don't either.
I just want to see that.
Damn
it. To be honest with you, but hey, Scott, I was laughing at I've been hearing a lot of dudes talk sports that, I just don't feel like they athletes, so they just talking from what they like. You ain't never put this work in. You don't know what it's like to be an athlete. You just talk about how Zeke has a fat back. What does that got to do with that pregnant?
Yeah, I don't care about
crazy.
That. I don't care about saying Zeke bit. Yeah. Like the fact that these players are obviously in this position means they're the 1% of the world. Yeah. No doubt about it, man. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Scott, I was watching my boy Law jump shot, and I was like, dang. And then he told me how he played DB. I was like, something ain't adding up. Like, the math ain't mathing.
Hey, Mark, I got to holler at Law. I ain't know. I ain't never seen Law's jump shot, so I got to talk to Law.
Hey,
about
you don't
that,
want
man.
to. I ain't hating on Law. I love Law, so it's dope. But I'm just telling people it's kind of, I'm kind of not, I can't believe you when you say, I did this, and I see you shoot the basketball. I say, oh, no, that's not it. But Scott, appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna listen to the rest of the show.
What a fascinating situation, man. Like, this is what I love about we have an internal battle between QB3 and QB2, and QB3 has like 113 passes or whatever it is in his lifetime in the NFL with no physical evidence in a regular game. Consistently, at least, like 3 games, that he's like what these people are saying. When QB2 has physically went out there and at least not lost you 5 games. Now, you could argue the Vikings and the Bengals or whatever, but I know them other games, the dude just didn't do much of nothing. Just don't lose the game. And he didn't. But that's what's fascinating. Because in reality, Trey has more talent. Spin that thing harder. He can run. What are y'all watching that you got confidence up here? Please enlighten me, man. Come on, man. Now, if you tell me you got confidence that McCarthy gonna change the whole offense, then maybe I can get on your side here. If he has the ability to change the entirety of this offense, all right. But boy, oh boy, get ready for one read takeoffs, read options, wildcat, whatever you want to call it, and you better hope like hell that works enough for you to reach the NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl. I have my doubts. Hey, Law, he talking about your jump shot, bro. Is Law in here? Law, what my man talking about, bro? That's crazy. I didn't know where Marco was going with that. But I think that was a dig at Toxic. Dan, you ain't got to explain to me. I'm not no Super Cooper Trooper, okay? The defense was 100% the reasoning for these dubs. That's why I say he ain't lose them. Don't have to explain to me. That's why I said I hate y'all making me sound like a Super Cooper Trooper. I'm not. I don't like either one of these dudes as a backup. Now, I'm just talking about for my team to win and have confidence that this XYZ is going to happen. I don't think either of them are particularly that good. Let me just get that out there. But if you're asking me, here's what context. If you're and please tell me you understand what I'm saying, Dan. If you're asking me to go out there, I need 2 games, maybe 3 games, where I keep this offense in above water, in flow of what we do from a perimeter standpoint, from a passing game standpoint. I just got to lean more on my run game and the defense. Yeah, 2-3 games. It's clearly Cooper Rush. But if I need 10, 11 games, the season's over, Dak Prescott got hurt, hey, you roll out Trey Lance. It's that simple to me, man. What the hell y'all watching to think Trey Lance like that? Cowboy Mike, good morning, man. Cowboy Mike. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I had to call you today. I was like, man, I got to call Will still. I went ham last week, bro, on that Deuce Vaughn thing.
Yeah, Deuce need to be a part of this damn offense, man.
Yeah, he do, man. But I'm keep it on your questions. Man, how did we go from I was 100% on the secondary to a C? I'm about 70, man. Because like you said, we one injury away now.
Hey, hold on real quick. Marco, Law got $40. He's the most athletic content creator on YouTube right now. He said, come to the Star tomorrow. Hey, Marco, challenge is a challenge. Oh, Marco's from Charlotte. Never mind. I'm sorry, Marco. You can't come down there. So whatever jump shot you talking about, man, Law said, please, man. Anyway, go ahead.
But, yeah, man, I'm going to say, man, we went from, I was 100% with the secondary. Now I'm down to a C, a 70. I don't know. Because we always hurt, like you said. Somebody always.
Corners or secondary? Corners or secondary?
Corners.
Okay, yeah, because I love the
safeties.
I'm
cool. I'm 100% on the safeties.
Yeah, I love the safeties, bro.
Matter of fact, hey, question. Do we shop some of these safeties for a corner?
That's an interesting question. I love this safety so much. If I'm not trading a safety for an impact player, I don't want a depth guy. I don't want a cornerback 4. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a running back 5. Though, sure, I'll trade one if I'm getting a guy that can come in here and play.
I say that because we got a guy that Julius Woods.
Hey, Special K, I got my money on Foots. 100% got my money on Foots. Go ahead.
I said we got a guy in Julius Woods, man. So we got a bunch of room to play in that free safety room.
Yeah, I like Julius Woods. I would like to keep him in this organization. It might be hard to get him on the 53, but if you
would you shop Donovan and keep him?
Nah, you're probably not going to. If you were going to shop Donovan, bro, I think you would have shopped him. I don't know that you get something done in the next week because you're about to start preparing for the next team, right? So whoever you bring in got to start preparing. So if you were going to do that, you would have had to been done that, and I think they could have. They wanted to camp deep at safety, in my opinion. So, you could shop them, sure, but again, I'm not trading a Donovan Wilson unless I'm getting back an impact starter.
Because I do not want to move Lewis from the slot. We need him in the slot.
Oh, he's not going. Oh no, he's not going anywhere. He's staying in the slot. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, the problem was too big. Like I feel like his hips are very stiff. He don't change direction.
Yeah. Kalen Carson's going to be your guy on the boundary. That's your guy, bro. Like that's your starter right now until Daron Bland comes back. Now, if something were to happen to Jay Lou, then it gets really weird because unless Kemon Hall is on this team. Yeah, unless Kemon Hall's on this team, I don't think you have a reliable slot corner. I know everybody's going to want to throw out Izzy. I don't think Izzy is built for the slot full time. Izzy is a matchup slot cornerback. He's a guy you put on big slots. I feel like route running guys will just route him up because I don't think he has the hips and the quickness to deal with two-way goes down and down out against guys that can route you up. That's where Jay Lou comes into play.
And Booth is only good in the phone booth. He can't run.
That's a good one because that's facts. Like this dude, anything past 10, 15 yards, it's over.
You remember back in the day, your girl hit you up. If it's major, hit me on my page. It's like, beep, beep, beep. Oh, I need a pay phone. I need a phone booth. That's all he good for.
Yeah, man. Hey, appreciate the call, Cowboy Mike. Let me get a couple more callers, bro.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day, man. Cowboy up. We almost there.
Almost there, man. Good stuff today. Hey, I got Law Nation. I'm sorry, I got Foots the King. When it comes to just most athletic, I got Foots. I know Foots can hoop. He like 6'3". He run 100 miles a day. Yeah, my money's on Law. My money's on Foots. I'm sorry. Izzy a ball? I like Izzy. Who's tripping? Y'all gotta relax, man. Like the people that y'all like, if somebody says something critical about them, y'all get so defensive. I just keep it. I like Izzy. I like Izzy on the boundary a lot. I like Izzy on the roof, but safety, you don't need him at safety. I'm just telling you what I've seen from Izzy in the slot. Big slot, cool. Route running slot, he's been worked. That's just facts, man. That's just facts. Reminding me of this one. There's a commenter on here. You can go look at the comments, man, that think I don't like the white players on this team because I said, look, if they're not going to use Hunter Lipke, like Kyle Juszczyk or get him more involved in 3 carries in a reception, then why have him on the team? Well, you don't like white players. All right, man. I'm sorry I'm not going to be Skittles and rainbows with every single last thing about this team. I'm just telling you what I've seen. That's it. Oh, somebody talking about him in the chat. Yeah, there's first. I think Izzy might have had his best camp. Keeping it to me, I think he might have had his best camp. I just would like to see him on the boundary. That's just my opinion. Yes, Foots is 6'3", bro. Foot's tall as hell. Let's get a couple numbers I'm not familiar with just to make sure we get some newer people up here. 334. Good morning.
Man.
Good morning.
I just got just a couple points on the possible, man.
Just 2 on the possible. All right.
Oh, bro. Yes, sir. I don't care how short Deuce Vaughn is, bro. If they let him go out there, he is not coming back, bro. Ain't no hiding this man, bro. If they let him out, trying to keep Davis, bro, he ain't coming back, bro.
I normally am on the whole, oh well, everybody says a guy won't make it back, but he usually does. I'm usually on that train. Most of the guys usually make it back, but I think there is a creative enough coordinator out there that if he does hit, the market, they'll consider bringing him in, man.
Bro, without politics, man. I want Rico, Royce, and I want Deuce, man. I ain't no need for no 5 running backs on this team.
No, bro.
4 with the
5 running backs.
4 with
madness.
Hunter. That sounds crazy to me. You like you said, bro. That's unsure. Y'all unsure about the backs when you had time to get a. You know what I'm saying? To get a back if y'all wanted to.
Like
but that sounds like you're unsure.
Bro, if you're that unsure about your backfield, go trade for a running back. Stop playing.
I never know, bro. It don't even make sense. 5 running backs, 4 with Hunter Licky, and that's 4 back for you.
I got you, Law. 1 second. Let me go. Go ahead. You good. I'm checking something real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and bro.
Y'all better leave Law alone. Law got the trophy collection. Hold on. Go ahead, bro. Let me pull this up real quick.
Yeah, I seen enough with Trey Lance, man. Let's get Dak signed, man, and then if we're still not sure about Dak, man, let's draft one in the draft this year, man.
Right.
Because I've seen enough.
That's where I'm at with it, brother. Like if you wanna move on, go about it the way in the draft, bro. Go about it in the draft. Anything else, you're just playing around.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I've been hard on that myself, man. But come on, man, that give you the best option to win, bro.
It's working.
And the way Dak been dialing up on, you know what I'm saying, practice, man. He, the defensive coordinator, this guy been showing, you know what I'm saying, helping him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's seeing that, bro.
Yeah, I think you know, it's not working. Okay, cool. I was trying to pull this up for y'all, Cowboys. But I think having Mike Zimmer throw different looks at, you know, Dak and all the quarterbacks really, but the receivers as well, offensive line, that's going to benefit them moving forward because everybody that's been down there, respectable reporters or analysts or what have you, have said the same thing, that the way this defense has performed, or at least schematically what it's shown to the offense, is completely different from what they've seen for years with Dan Quinn, where Dan Quinn was very basic, very simple, a lot of man. And when you get to the season, once you throw these different looks, it takes a little bit of time for the Cowboys to adjust. Well, Zim is throwing a whole bunch of looks at these guys. And if you're practicing against that every week, that's only going to benefit you in the season.
Yeah, at first, at the starter count, man, you know, you could tell that Zimmer was dialing it up on him. That was kind of, you know, he was trying to figure it out, but the true baller that Dak is, he was slowly catching up. You know what I mean? And now, you know what I'm saying? And all this is without his number 1 wide receiver, bro. You know what I mean?
That's a whole other discussion right there. Yeah.
This is all without your number 1 guy. So man, please get this man signed. And let's go, man.
Oh, that's boogie.
And the last thing I want to say, bro. Yeah, the last thing I want to say, man, this is the Ryan Bland thing. It hurt me, but man, we've been on this thing all off season about signing Gilly, man, for the same situation. The same situation we've been talking about signing Gilly. Yeah. And now Gilly the first one off the board. The first one off out of all the cornerbacks. Like, I don't see how Dallas sit on their hands with this kind of stuff. And they, this is supposed to be what they do. I don't get them.
Hey, I appreciate the call. Yeah, I appreciate the call, good brother, and great points, man. But I have to show the viewers, Law Nation, y'all better stop playing. Hey, Law hit me on Twitter, said, Skywalker, I was him back in the day. I'm still Himothy right now, even in my 40s. Tell that caller, don't get it twisted. Y'all see this? Y'all see young Law? Y'all better stop playing with Law, man. Hey, Law, I believe you, dog. But the reason why I'm taking Foot's like 6 years younger. He about 6'3". He run every day. You know what I mean? He out here in these streets, bro. Y'all already know how I feel. I'm refereeing. I'm washed. I'm done, man. I'm cherry picking. I got my jump shot crazy. Don't get it twisted. My jump shot crazy. I still got some handles and whatnot. But I'm not running up and down no court. I'm not running routes. I'll pull something. No, sir. I will moderate. It's a wrap. But you see young Law out here in these streets. Shouts out to the homie, man. Shouts out to the homie. Why ain't this working though? Let me see. All right, let's get another caller up in here as I'm looking around here. 972. What it is? What it do?
Scott, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. Good stuff today.
That's good. That's good. I'll be quick because that's pretty much what I wanted to say about Daron. I mean, not trying to say he's going to be Darren Sproles 2.0, but you can see the potential. And if we give it up for nothing for Malik Davis, an undrafted player at that.
Oh, can y'all hear him? All right. My bad, brother. I just had to make sure they could hear you.
Oh, okay. No, you good. You good. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy that we know what the problem is. It's been a problem for 28 years, 29, and it's not going to change. Those two old men at the top. The Joneses ain't going to change. It's all about politics. It's all about the way they. That's why CD isn't signed. That's why Dak isn't signed. And I believe Dak can take us to the top. I mean, I know he hasn't performed in the playoffs like we all think he can, but I have faith in Dak. Do the Joneses have faith in Dak? That's another question.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, but I think he cannot do it alone. I don't think he can put the cape on in the playoffs for 4 consecutive games. A game, I think so. 2 games, I think maybe. But we haven't seen it in back-to-back games. But I've said this many a times. There's going to be probably a game or 2 in the playoffs where, hey, the defense is going to have to win it for you. Hey, you're going to have to out-coach and out-scheme somebody. And then also, hey, your top guys are going to have Herculean efforts, right? 2022 was a fantastic case of that situation, right? You needed your top guys to have Herculean efforts because you were already, down in regards to players, and then you lost one of your best players on offense, and you don't have a coaching staff that is great in those situations. So you needed them to be Herculean. It didn't happen. It failed. So, yeah, I mean, I absolutely think he can have that type of run, but I don't think he can have that type of run by putting the cape on himself. I don't think that's the case. And every time it comes to that, right, where it's like, all right, hey, dog, it's on you. It hasn't worked out. So I'm going to need, the plan, these guys to be ready. They have not been ready for 3 straight playoff appearances, in my opinion. Even when they beat Tampa, they came out slow. They haven't been ready. I definitely don't think they've had a great plan. And when they got punched in the mouth, for the most part, they couldn't punch back. So, yeah, I definitely think he can do it, but he can't do it himself.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so frustrating about the offseason. It's just like, I mean, help.
Hey, bro, I'm going to have to let you go because the audio's starting to cut out on our end, bro. Appreciate the call. Let's get a couple more, and we'll head out here, get some super chats, wrap y'all a little bit in the chat. I'm going to go 972. Oh, I already did 972. 910. What's good? You might have me muted, brother. Okay, let's go to Brandon from Houston. What's good, B?
Oh, man. I'm excited for the season still. I'm excited for the season. And, man, I'm not worried about Deuce Vaughn because Jerry already said that he's going to be on the team. So,
oh, he did?
I feel like Deuce. He said, yeah, he's going to be super exciting for us, and he's lightning the ball over some Jerryism. I feel like if everybody just tweets Deuce Vaughn highlights, the marketing will, you know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, okay. We'll be all right on that. But, man, I'm excited for the season, even with Daron Bland go down. Hey, we stole Carson, and he's a dog, and you know what I mean? Like, some people get the chance early. So we'll just ride it. But I don't see I was looking at those first games. I don't see anybody that can dot us up still. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we got Bland out, all right, you got Deshaun Watson. All right, I guess. But you got the Saints.
No.
Ravens.
He ain't.
Giants.
Not even, I guess. Deshaun
Giants.
Watson ain't like that, bro.
Right, ain't like that, right? So you put Diggs on Cooper and what else, right? We got linebackers for tight ends, whatever. You got the Steelers, yeah, right. And the first time you need a second cornerback is the Lions, I think. And then he'll be backed by the 49ers. And that just is what it is.
Well, I think
so. I think we're in a good spot.
I think New Orleans is going to challenge you through the air. I'm not saying Carr is some great player or anything, but I do like their weapons. Like, it might not be household names besides Olave, but they got some speed. They got some decent weapons. But Carr is, I mean, Lamar Jackson's Lamar, right? Like, you know, Lamar is so strange because he'll have a crazy passing game and 120 yards rushing and only 99 yards passing. So what Lamar are we getting during that day? But you're definitely on to something. I mean, I'm not afraid of no Deshaun Watson, bro.
Hey, you about to get the Lamar double A gap blitz all game, not knowing where pressure's coming from. 2 picks is what Lamar you're gonna get that game still.
Hey, I take it.
Hey, I don't know. I'm actually, this is one of my, like, I hate getting optimistic again. I was so down after the Packers kicked shit out, and you know, and I was like, nah, I'm not even. But now they got me back in. They had one of them drafts, and I think we're going to be better at center than we have been in a couple years, and that changes everything for us because in the playoff games, you know, we need to be able to just run it in A gap for 4 or 5 yards. And we might have won some of them games. We might have won some of them San Francisco games. We might have won because we pretend like our offensive line was like that, and the media talked about it, but it was not for years since Frederick's gone.
It wasn't.
So,
but
you know.
And great point, and I do want to talk about this a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But great call, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, let's just.
My issue, and it's not working right now. My issue with the playoffs is, it's beyond the talent. I've always believed they still had the talent. Granted, 2022, you could argue not. Definitely when Wilson went down, Tony Pollard. My issues for the most part has been the lack of adding guys that can help you get over the hump when you have a quality team. You have a quality team during the season, and once you get to the postseason, 9 times out of 10, you're like, damn, I wish we had X, Y, Z. That's not number one, but that's a part of it. Number one to me, and we cannot ignore it, and it'll come back up once we get around to the season, is how do we look? And the how to me is a part of coaching. Like, there has been and I showed you all the stats, there's been a trend for 3 consecutive postseasons. The Cowboys don't come out prepared and ready to play. They don't. The game plan, now you could argue both offense and defense have been terrible. Awful. So, yeah, we got the offensive line. If you believe, right, like the offensive line is back to 2016 like some people do believe. Yeah, we got these top-end players. We'll see where we're at during the middle of the season. If they add more, decide not to. Injuries, we'll see what happens. But can my coaching staff outwit that coaching staff? Can my coaching staff prepare these guys much better? When you come out the way you do that often, that is a coaching problem. That is a coaching problem. 100%. And that's why I've been 10 toes down on this. I don't care if the Cowboys are 13-4 or 10-7. I feel like they'll be in the playoffs. How do we look on the way in? Number one. And number two, are we prepared when we come out? These slow ass starts, you know, if they catch up. They catch up to you. So, you know, from a personnel standpoint, excited about the young guys, excited about the veterans they brought in. Hopefully all these guys hold up. Hopefully in the middle of the season, we even add more when we're just not content, because contenders they're not content. They still go out and try to add more. But if we get to the playoffs and you come out slow, you don't prepare your team, we have lazy game plans, man, you are asking your guys to climb an uphill battle before the season or before the game even starts. And that's why, to me, it's TBD when it comes to these playoffs, man, because you can say, well, I don't trust the quarterback. I don't trust it. That's fine. I don't trust the coaching staff because for 3 consecutive seasons, we've come out looking the way we've looked. That, to me, is a direct indication of the coaching. 100%. All right, excuse me. Last one here. 100 grand, what's good with you?
What's good, man? What's good? I'm really, not worried about Bland because we got Zimmer, man. I think the way that he schemes up his defense, I think that can kind of hide him, hide his deficiencies a little bit. So I'm really not worried about that.
You talking about Carson?
You said Bland was out for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not.
Yeah, but you said hide his deficiencies. Who's he?
Well, whoever we put back there,
Carson.
I think
it'll be Carson.
I think that's going to help Carson. Get picks and help him.
Well, my argument
spot.
is he fits this scheme. Like I don't think there's a deficiency within the scheme for Carson. I think I like him in this scheme. If it was Dan Quinn's scheme where he's got to run with guys across the field and deep down like that, then maybe you feel a little skeptical. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been worried about that. But not with Zimmer and the way that this scheme is. I feel like we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine in that spot. And he's actually going to develop more because he's going to get thrown into the fire. And I feel like he's going to come out a good player. So let's say we go out there, right? Game 1, right? And we kind of we handle the Browns. Right? What are y'all going to say then if we handle the Browns for everybody that, this guy's down and that guy's down? Let's say we go out there and we handle the Browns week 1, man. What's going to be the outlook then? And this running game looks good, Let's say not great, but all I'm looking for this running game, if it's 3rd and 2, we need that first down. If we on the goal line, we could get between the 20s. If we could get between the 20s, easy.
Yeah, we can get 3rd and 2 between the 20s. We did that with TP.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the offense. We can get to the 20 real easy, no problem. I want the running game. We need that touchdown on the 5-yard line. Go get that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm not looking for splash plays. I'm not looking for all that. I just want you to be able to convert when we need to get these short yardage, and we couldn't do that last year.
No, we did do that last year. Short yardage was not an issue last year. The run game issue
on the goal line.
That's not short. Okay, short yardage. When you say short yardage, 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, that wasn't a problem. Goal line was a problem. That's facts. But if all you're asking for the run game to do is be complimentary in the goal line, I still think you're coming up short. I still do. I feel like you at least want the run game to be a factor in between the 20s so that you can now create some, one-on-one situations, right? Instead of playing against too high shell all day, you have that safety come down because there is a threat of you getting 4.8 yards per carry or something like that. I would love for the run game to have efficiency. If they're not efficient, but they're scoring the goal line, well, the Cowboys were still a top red zone offense. I need you to be efficient in between the 20s as well, so that you don't have to ask Dak to be superhero or CeeDee Lamb to be superhero between the 20s. Hey, man, sometimes it'd be nice to let it be easy because a safety has to come in that box. So I still think beyond just goal line rushing touchdowns, you want your run game to be a threat a little bit between the 20s.
I think that's going to happen, but it's not going to be just with the running backs. We're going to use CD in that backfield. I'm telling you this right now. We're going to continue to do that.
If you're relying on CD to do things like that, man, that's again.
We did it last year. We're going to give him more touches.
He don't need more. He don't need more rushes, man. Like if you have to pull CD Lamb off the boundary to run the ball once again, you don't have a running attack. You don't have running backs that you believe in. There should be no look. I get using CeeDee Lamb because your run game was trash last year. I get using CeeDee Lamb if your run game is trash in general. But if you actually had a legitimate run game, why the hell are we putting CeeDee Lamb in the backfield? He rushed for 9 yards. Cool, that's fine. I can get a running back that can do that if he's good. You want CeeDee Lamb threatening the defense to create a light box for your said running back. But if you're relying on CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Turpin to be your run game,
Okay.
Once again,
okay.
bro.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay. Hold on. I got a counter for you on that one.
Counter.
What about Debo?
What about him? He's a
They do that with Debo in San Francisco. I got you. No, Scott, no.
Are you kidding me?
He's a raw talent. I'm not gonna let you do that. No,
not gonna let me do what? How you gonna say you got a counter, but you won't
raw
let me counter?
Talent. You can't say raw talent and none of that. I'm not gonna.
You don't even know what I'm saying here. Okay, here's my counter for you: Kyle Shanahan, Mike McCarthy. If you tell me we got Kyle Shanahan that knows how to, because go look how Debo is used in that situation. Go look how Lamb is used. Do you see Lamb doing ghost motion in the backfield, faking it to Debo, throwing the tight end screen to the other side? Do you see Lamb getting a fake handoff? And then no, when Lamb's in the backfield, Lamb's getting the ball. What you doing here, man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
How about get a running back? How about get a running back that threatens the defense so you can use Lamb where he's best at? Lamb is a million times better than Debo at wide receiver. Debo is limited as a wide receiver, hence you have to use him as a running back to get the best out of him. I don't need to use CeeDee Lamb as a running back to get the best out of CeeDee Lamb.
Well, if that's the case, okay, all right. I could see why they trying to get Deuce some better packages. Because if you just put Deuce out there just to run the ball, that's a tell. That's a tell sign.
The hell is it? What do you mean?
And a lot of players don't understand about tell signs. Tell signs matter.
Hold on. Wait. What do you mean it's a tell? Like, he can actually run the ball.
Okay, all right. No. You understand what I'm saying. It's just how I'm saying it. You might not be computing with you. A tail sign is, let's say I put Deuce back there, right?
I know what a tail sign is.
And
tell me
run
why,
the ball all the time.
Deuce is a tail
so you
sign.
know when Deuce, that's what I'm saying. So that's why they got him running out the slot. They got him, trying to do different things because you don't want to just put guys out there for one specific thing. So
wait, 100 grand. What are you talking about? So you think that Deuce Vaughn can't go out and play action, go out for a pass, can't start in the backfield and go out for a screen or something? He
can. No, I'm saying that's why we need to keep Deuce on this team because he has at least he got that wiggle. He's not super fast, but he has some wiggle. That way you don't want to put CD back there, right? So we can and you don't want to put Turpin back there. So this is why we got to keep
I was confused. Deuce. My bad, because we said it's a tail sign that they're going to run. I'm like, what do you...
Right. That's what I'm saying. He can do other things. That's why they got him in these different type of packages because you don't want to just put him back there just to run the football. You don't want to do that. So in that case, Deuce makes this team because, I believe he can catch a little bit. I believe he can catch a little bit. And if you get him out in space, if you get Deuce out in space, he can make some things happen. So... that way you don't have to put CD or Turpin back there in the backfield.
Look, I joke a little bit about the CD and Turpin. I get Turpin, right? Because Turpin is not a traditional wide receiver. Turpin's more, y'all don't kill me when I say this, but I'll explain. Nah, I'm not going to compare him to that. I ain't going to do it. But Turpin is more gadget, less nuanced receiver. So it makes sense to get Turpin involved with jet sweeps, quick screens, and get him, a hand up. That makes sense because he's not as down in, down out threatening of a receiver because I do think he has limitations, right? He's either going to be a deep shot guy or get the ball to him, in a tunnel screen or something like that. But my argument with Lamb, where I'm serious, is that, Lamb is 100% more of a threat and it benefits your offense if he's threatening the defense, as a receiver. So if you have to give him 40 carries in a season or whatever, boy, you got problems in that backfield.
Speaking of jet sweeps, we haven't ran jet sweeps since Lucky.
Nah, we
not to the degree that.
Yeah, we did. We did some last year with Terp. Terp has some good runs, man. Like if you're going jets, if you tell me I can get 15 jet sweeps, so what's that, like a jet sweep a game out of Turpin, I'm down. because
especially with this offensive line. Ooh,
well, it'll probably be on the perimeter, right? You probably need like your tight ends and your receivers, but yeah, I'm down for him to get a jet sweep a game as long as you're using it like how Sean McVay does. Sean McVay uses a lot, and Shanahan, a lot of they'll jet sweep 2 or 3 times a game just to fake you out, right? Just to hit a fake with it and get somebody open on a deep crosser or whatever. Just be creative with it.
We could do that, especially with Cooks. Cooks is killer on them deep crosses, man. So I mean, I'm just excited. I'm ready for the season.
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. It's time. We're about to look. The first few weeks, you're getting your footing. You're trying to fill out your offense, defense, see what they're doing. But the pieces are there, in my opinion. I'm just speaking offensively. The pieces are there to have a prolific offense. It's just a matter of did they make the necessary tweaks with their personnel. I'm excited to see if they did that. If they come out here and it's the same old same, then you're basically going to be asking your top guys to be putting on a cape week in, week out.
Yeah, agree. I agree with you 100%, man. All right, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
We got a Temu West Coast office. It's called the Texas Coast, man. If they truly tweak some things, and the things that I'm looking for them to tweak, hey, run game scheme. Is there a small tweak we haven't seen? They don't want to bring it out. One thing I'm noticing in training camp is there going to be more 2-back system, right? With Hunter Lipke. That could be a slight tweak. Getting Turpin involved a little bit more. I feel like Cooks and Dak should have a much better chemistry coming out. And let's just be real. Like, how much of a committee are they going to roll with? That's another tweak. Because they say committee, but to me, it feels like this is going to be Zeke and Rico. And if that's the case, fine, make it work, but help them out. And I know Zeke and Rico can run between the A-gaps, but that don't mean I'm going to settle for 3 yards in a cloud of dust if it ain't working. I saw somebody, in fact, there was a super chat I was about to get to. He said, hey, man, you can't out-coach your center getting whooped. I mean, if your center is getting whooped all game, sure. But, I mean, let's not exaggerate. You can definitely out-coach your deficiencies. That's what coaching is for. That is literally what – if I know I'm going into a game and a specific part of my team is not as up to snuff, or a specific position or player is not up to snuff, you have to coach around that. I watched Mike McDaniels for most of the season have one of the worst offensive lines in football because of injuries and whatnot. Out-coach and out-scheme opponents to have a rushing attack that was the best in the National Football League. A 31-year-old running back led the league in touchdowns because of scheme. So I'm not saying it might have happened 3-4 games in a row, but absolutely, in my opinion, you can out-scheme a specific player being a deficiency on your offensive line, defense line, whatever it may be. 100%. Let's get these super chats and get up out of here. We got 26. Let's go to
super chat.
Towboat Ty. He dropped 5 and said, hey, man, if they use Zeke as RB1 the first week and first play runs up the gut for 1 yard, swear on my mom I'm going to throw a hammer through my TV. I think Zeke's your starter. Yeah. Let me just do this real quick. I don't want y'all to think. That ain't me. I think Zeke's your starter. But I will be fair and I will be consistent. To me, it's not about the starter. To me, it's about the how are they using these guys. Okay, Zeke comes out and he gets the first 2 carries, whoop-de-doo. But if Zeke is only getting you the 10 to 12 carries and you got Rico getting 10 to 12 and then you're mixing in Hunter, you're mixing in Deuce, that's what matters more. That matters more to me, right? I don't care if he just comes out to start the game. But if Zeke is 15, 18 carries a game, I don't think that's a good idea for him and for the Cowboys once you get to the playoffs. Lee dropped 2. Hey, where'd that go?
Super chat.
He said, let's hope Trey is hanging with Mr. Cooper. Cooper BB? Oh, it's on hanging with Mr. Cooper. Are you trying to get Trey up out of here for real? Man, turn Trey into Taysom Hill. He'd be dynamic. Trey be dynamic as Taysom. Let that man run. Hey, look, you want a punt? You want a punt protector? Put Trey back there. Fake punt. Put Trey back. I'm not even joking no more. How you watch that game and you come away with, yeah, let's let Trey throw the ball, as opposed to let's let this man run. Can he catch? Because if he can catch, even better. I'm so serious, man. Like, all jokes aside, you gonna waste a roster spot with this man on the team? Waste a game day spot with this man on the team? If they do that, then damn it, let him use his legs. I'm so serious. B drop 2 is say, that's the one we were talking about. B, you can't outcoach your center getting whooped. Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like if your center's getting whooped every single play. Yeah, I mean, that's it. But let's not exaggerate. There's times where that's not happening. And I've seen teams with worse offensive lines and centers get it done. So be better prepared is how I look at it. And Trayvon, he dropped, come on.
Super chat.
Appreciate you. And said, how much unnecessary pressure are you putting on your QB and head coach when we don't have players signed and in place? If the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, Ford better get all the praise because this team has not set him up to be successful. Yeah, that's a whole lot there, Trayvon. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on your head coach and your quarterback, but that comes in Dallas, right? That comes with the territory in Dallas. So pressure be damned. Go get it done. Now, is it easier here? I don't think so. Clearly. You can't like, the evidence is there. It's not easy in Dallas, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And I said it before, and I know Toxic, you hate to hear it, but got to overcome it. You're going to have to overcome those in the suite, and sometimes who they hire, you got to overcome those coaches. But just give me lightning in the bottle, bro. I can care less how it gets done. Just give me lightning in the bottle. How do you think the carries will break down week 1, says Mel? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You know how I do. I usually have a better idea of this team after a few games, but coming out the gate week 1, we're going to break it down. Next week, we get into our regular routine. But this defense you're going up against, and now I'm giving you a preview, this is a really good pass defense. So if there was a time to lean a bit on the ground, this would be the game. So maybe you get a heavy workload of both of those two dudes. All right, I think that's it. One more refresh. Yep, we good to go. Hey man, this has been everything I expected today, even with my OG Law Nation in the building. Appreciate you, Law. He did drop a comment here. Said, great show, Sky. I'm always watching in the morning, getting the best info for the nation. Keep up the great work, man. I appreciate it, Law. Ain't even enough words to explain what he's done for this community, me personally as well, in getting started in this. So look, you watching every week, every day means a whole lot. And look, I would love to see Foots come on down here and challenge Law. The only thing I might challenge Law in is the 40, but I got to stretch. These quads ain't quite ready. I got to stretch a little bit, man. Let me get my stretch on. I might be able to get Law, man. I'm just saying. Hey, Law, I might be able to get you if I stretch. We'll see. But appreciate the super chats. You guys have been great. On your way out, like I said before, only if you like the show, hit the like button. If you've been here for a while and you got friends or family that don't know of the show, share this thing. Let them know where to go in the morning to get all your Cowboys takes, information, updates, etc. as we prepare you for the rest of your Cowboy day. Speaking of which, I'll probably be on here in a few minutes, so make sure y'all go check out my guy. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and press this button.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
On the way out, Common 219 drop 5 and said, what New Orleans did with their QB. I can't think of his name. Give him packages. You're talking about Taysom Hill. Yep. I'm so serious. And look, man, if you're a Trey fan that believes he can throw the rock, more power to you. I believe he can be more of a threat running the ball. Let that man run, boy. Run, Trey, run. We out of here. Peace. Hey, INC, I got to stretch, bro. If I stretch, I think I got law. If I don't stretch, they'll have to carry me up out of here. That's all I'm saying.
Bomb Squad!